you need to ask yourself these 3 questions before you ask somebody else the question. Like, what do you need it for? How far do you need it to go? And what do you need it to do when it gets to the other end?
And so,
I forget what those were.
So basically, people ask me about bullet choice or round choice, because like AR-15, AR-10, do I need a bolt action? Do I want a, a short action, a long action? What should I buy? Like, because, it's like buying a car, right? Should I get a Honda Civic, a Chevy Silverado, or a Ferrari? Mm-hmm. It's like, so what I tell people is I go, how big of a bullet do you want to shoot? How far do you want it to go? And what do you want it to do when it gets there? Because people ask me this because they go, and there's other things like barrel life, ammo availability, cost of ammo, that all plays into these things too, of choices. It's like, well, 6-arc. 6-arc's this big thing that everybody's been pushing for AR-15s, because ballistically it does better than a 5.56, but it needs a different bolt, a different magazine. The ammo's expensive. It's like $1.50, $1.70 a round. Like, whereas 5.56 is 50 cents. Or, for 77 grain, it's $1. Like 79 cents to just over $1 for, Black Hills. So those things play a role. Yes, if all things are equal, if you're in a military unit and the government's giving you pallets of ammo, 6-arc does kick the shit out of 5.56. So did 6.8 SBC. So did 6.5 Grendel. So does 224 Valkyrie. It's just the newest thing. And so again, you have to ask yourself all these questions to identify. And I tell people, I go, okay, you're going to go build a 12.5 6-arc. That's great. Are you going to go shoot your carbine drills on the range where you burn 400 rounds a day? You just shot $600 in ammunition.
Yep.
In one day.
What does that mean for your training time?
Versus $150. Right.
Yeah. How often are you going to go out and go through $600 worth of ammunition just to be trained on that firearm that you decided to purchase?
I mean, and you've now seen inside my safe, it's like, going
it's
and...
impressive, by the way. I'm not going to get over that. I've been ruined.
Going out to train bolt actions, like I go teach, and they go, why don't you bring your 6.5 Creedmoor, your 6.5 SAUM, your this? I go, because for what I'm asking my gun to do, I bring my 308s, or I have a 223 trainer that shoots 77 grain in little tiny groups, and I can shoot, 70-cent ammo instead of $1, $1.20, and I can still hit the size targets I'm asking to shoot. The barrel life's longer. I don't have to worry about it as much. Like 5.56 is going to get 8,000 or 10,000 round barrel life if you run it hard as shit. Like, whereas 6.5 Creedmoor is like 2,800 rounds, like maybe depending on how hard you run it. So 308. 6,000 to 10,000 rounds, depending on how hard you run the barrel. So like 6 Creedmoor is like 2,000, 2,500 rounds on a barrel.
That's a thing.
Yeah. And so on top of ammo availability, now, do I think barrels are consumables? Yes, I have a stack of new barrels to rebarrel half my guns in there. But it's like, how often do I want to do that and have a gun be down for a gun that I teach with all the time? Like, why when I can accomplish my task and my goals for teaching, and sometimes it makes me a better shooter. Like, having to spot wind for a 5.56 is significantly different than having to spot or make wind calls for a 6.5 SAUM. If I'm shooting, 77 grain pills at 600 in 18 mile an hour winds, like that's a significantly higher wind call than my 6.5 SAUM shooting 140 burgers at, 3,100 feet per second. Like, it's just, I'm having to work harder, and it hones my individual skills more to shoot the smaller caliber for what I'm doing. Now, if I was trying to put metal to meat versus just metal to metal in a training opportunity, yeah, I'm going to grab, if I'm trying to shoot an elk, then maybe my 300 Norma or my 6.5 SAUM comes out, because it's a bigger bullet. I want it to travel more efficiently, and I want it to kill things when it gets there.
Yeah, he's not shooting back.
Well, I mean, even then, shooting back, it's like, okay, I can go train with a 5.56 gun, but if I know my engagement distance is going to be 600 plus, and it matters in the way of either needed to take an animal's life or protect myself, whatever, then maybe I do grab my 6.5 Creedmoor AR-10 in that arena. Mm-hmm. Maybe I do grab my 6-arc. That's not what I'm going to grab to train. And so you have to make those trade-offs. Again, if you're only going to buy one, which is what I get, people ask me all the time, like, well, I'm a 20-year-old college student. I only have the money to buy one. I'm like, then dude, buy the one that's going to make it so that you get better. It still does what you need it to for the most part. But it affords you the ability to train. Like, because having a really expensive rifle that puts a really expensive bullet really far out, but you can't afford to feed it, is like having a Ferrari you can't put gas in.